Welcome to Daily Zohar. This shiur is dedicated to the refuah shlema of Belha bat Shprinza Perah, and to the Atzlacha Parnasa of Hegel Sarah bat Reuven Leib. The Zohar this time is going to talk about this week a lot about issues of tefillah, prayer, different aspects of prayer. So the Zohar says, Amar Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon, said, Harimoti yadi betfilah lifnei hamelech hakadosh. I lift my hands in prayer in front of the Holy One. Ki lamadnu, we learned that man is not allowed to lift his hands lemala, chutz, besides, betfilah, ubevrachot, when you prayer, making a bracha, uvetachanunim le'adono, when you are begging for in front of your master, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're not allowed to, for example, go like this. It's not polite. It will be the same thing as it would be considered not polite for somebody to go, hey, you. It's not polite. Or in different cultures, when they talk to you, they have a tendency to talk to you like this. There's some people I know, every time they talk to me, it's like they keep on pushing me. It's like, wait, relax. There's some space here. It's you have to know. If you know that's how the people. It was funny. Like last week, I was with my wife. We met this friend of mine. He's a very nice rabbi, a wonderful person, but every time he talks to me, it's like it's somewhat punching me. It's very, very. He's a nice guy, very gentle, but when he talks, he pushes people all the time. A certain culture is not going to be polite. Also, in your interaction to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's not nice to lift your hands. Besides, when you beg, begging, it's okay, I'm begging for you, right? Or I'm making a bracha. Even the Kohanim, they lift their hands, they do that. That's okay. Otherwise, you can. Why? Because it says, Shekatuv harimoti yadi el Hashem el Elyon. I would lift my hands to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the mighty one, the holier of holies, and so on. And we translate into Aramaic, Arimat yadi betzilo. Tzilo, salahotana, is our prayer in Aramaic. Tfilah is tzila, right? The name tzila is a Hebrew name for a girl. That kind of an older name. Let's say a woman who would be 50, 60, the names it goes by trends. At the time, Tzila was a popular name for a girl. Tzila comes from Tfilah. Not Tzel, shadow, but Tzel Tfilah. So if you translate Arimoti Yadi Betzilo, so Tzilo means Betfilah. In Aramaic is in Tfilah. So they learn from here. That's why we need the oral Torah, because you can learn so much from that. I lift my hand when I'm praying. When I'm praying, I can do this like that. And why is that? Ki etzbaot hayadayim, fingers, yesh bahem dvarim elyonim. There are great issues with your hands. For example, if you know a little bit about different aspects of Kabbalah, different parts of your hand, different parts of your fingers also would relate to different sferot, different heavenly attribute. Part of your hand will be chesed, part of the fingers will be chesed, gvura, and so on and so forth. Different fingers will be different attributes. So it's very important to realize that there is a spiritual manifestation to your body as well, for different parts of your body, and therefore you have to use them appropriately and have this in mind, as we mentioned beforehand. And then in the hands themselves also there is the hand itself attribute differently, when the right hand will be chesed and the left hand will be gevurah. That's why according to Kabbalah you cannot according to the Ari, also you can sit like this. It's very comfortable. Michael, you have stuff to do. It's very comfortable to sit like this. People find it comfortable to sit like this. But according to Kabbalah, it's not good because you are mixing the attribute of Chesed and Gvurah together. The same thing as you would do with Shatnez, when you're mixing Chesed and Gvurah. When you have wool and linen mixed together, one of the reasons we're not supposed to mix them together is because the mix-up of attributes. You can't mix it up. Things need to have a specific... And that's, again, that is a fundamental point of understanding. Everything has its job. Everything has its purpose. And when you switch things around, it is very unlikely that you'll be able to complete your job, your purpose, and then the overall job will be affected. This is the claim that many people have out of complete ignorance to the issue of women putting tefillin on. People operate out of ignorance. They think that in Judaism, a woman is inferior to a man. And this is absolutely wrong. Women have a specific job, and men have a specific job. Not one is better than the other. This is the job. You should be happy that you have a job. Therefore, when a woman puts tefillin on, that's why Rav Moshe Feinstein writes. Rav Moshe Feinstein writes that when a woman puts tefillin because she has this unbelievable urge to get closer to God, and she feels that's like in the din of the daughters of Rashi. But most women nowadays who put tefillin on and wrap themselves in talit don't do so because of the great love to God. I'm not quite sure that some of these women believe in God to begin with. For them, to many of these women, God is a concept. And the Bible was written by people, by 4 different people. It wasn't given to us, written by Moshe Rabbeinu. I guess they watch PBS a little too much. They do it because they don't believe that men and women were created different. And when a person does not believe that men and women were created different and they have different jobs, therefore does not believe in the concept of Maaseh Bereshit, in the whole concept of creation, that God had created men and women, female and male, their tendency is to make male into females and females into male. They don't believe in this whole concept, therefore they're heretics. And as such, they shouldn't put tefillin altogether. There's no reason, there's no excuse for that altogether. I don't see really the point what it is besides showing some, they have a thing against religion. They have a thing against Judaism itself. Now, they can form their own religion, but don't tell me that that is Judaism. Things are different. Your left hand is your left hand. Your right hand is your right hand. And that's why you do things differently. And not understanding that will create a big problem in your life, or how you interact with everything in your life. You think everything is the same. It's not. Different jobs, different things. It will be very bad for you, detrimental to your relationship, if you think that your son is your friend and your son thinks that you're the friend also. You're not just a father. Sometimes you are his buddy. It's not. You're his friend. You're his father. You're not his friend. Friends are friends. Fathers are fathers. And your mother is not your daughter, nor she is your wife. And vice versa. Everything has in place. You need to keep things in the order that they were made, because it is not about a selfish world in which we do what we feel like doing. We have a job to do. It's a collateral effort of all mankind to do something. And if I'm not going to do my job and you're not going to do your job, nothing's going to get done. That's why sometimes the Gemara uses harsh words against people like that. Better off, the Gemara said that his placenta will turn over him and choke him, and not to come to the world and destroy the world. And this is really destroying the world. Imagine all of a sudden, everybody has embryo babies. We'll destroy mankind. How long before we destroy mankind? We can't do that. And this is our job, to stand guard and to explain to people Of course, don't throw rocks at people and do something of that. That's not the derech of Torah. Explain to people. I do believe the people are intelligent and they want to know. Explain to them nicely. And the Zohar says the same thing. You have to keep things the way they are. That's why in the Kabbalah there's a left side and there's a right side. And if you see, they're all the same. I mean, they're identical. The Etz Chaim of the Kabbalah is identical, but they have different things. There's a right side and there's a left side. If you're a righty and you try to hit hard with your left hand, it's not going to come the same way. Did you ever try to throw a football with your left hand if you're a righty? You look kind of funny. Like you belong in Soho or something. I don't know. No, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so it goes like this. Ve'ata ani oseh kach, I do also. Shani marim yadi betfilah, I lift my hands in prayer. Ve'ani omer shekol mi shemesader elu ha'arba'a haniskarim le'il. All those there's different ways to pray, and we're gonna maybe go back to it tomorrow. There is aniyim, chasidim, avadim, u'va'alei kiddush Hashem. Aniyim are the poor ones, and these are different things that a person should come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu like ani, like a poor person. A person should come as a chassid, a person who desires him greatly, and so on. By all means, when he says "Asay kapai betfilah," it doesn't mean you have to stand like this in prayer, right, Danny? You can't stand like this and pray. It's no good, because I've seen somebody is praying like this. It's not good because he's lifting his hand based on the Zohar. He lifts his hand in tefillah, and it's no good. And it looks strange. If you speak like this all the time, I mean, you won't speak to somebody like that. Tefillah should be an emotional experience, a discharge of emotional experiences. When you beg somebody, say, please, you don't go like this. If you go to the president or to your boss, you're going to talk to him like this. What's the matter with your hand? You're like paralyzed or something. Put it down. But if you go to somebody and you lose the effect, if you look to somebody and the effect is for yourself, not for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need that. But you feel this overwhelming, say, please, I'm begging. You will bring them from what you say. But if you go like this all the time, it's going to be another thing for you. That's what it means. And it says, a person that does that and arranges this tefillah in such a way in front of his master, oseh atzmo bechefetz lev. He prays because he wants to pray. He prays as the way we said, to arrange his tefillah as a poor person and so on and so forth. By this kind of a tikkun, lo tachzor tefillah torikam. His tefillah is going to be heard. It's not going to come back empty. Betchila, at the beginning, a person needs to make himself like a slave, like an eved. What does it mean? Dehainu, to arrange, to train up in appropriate order the praise to Hashem, and to sing in front of Him. And this is Betishbachot. That's the Psukei de Zimra. You sing it in front of Him. Right? I mean, not like a jester, but when somebody comes, even today, which is very interesting, but we miss this connection with what we do to what we do here. For example, if you have two heads of states are meeting, they're sitting down into an official event, they will have a singer before they're going to sit down and talk. They're going to have somebody to come to perform. They're going to sing. It's a sign of respect to the person. So you sing to him, and then you say, "Listen, Mr. President, you sit down in a meal, you eat, you don't talk about it. Later on, you sit in the office and you bang heads." But there's a certain protocol that you have to go. Our protocol is similar, l'avdil, but yet similar. We have to praise Hashem, sing to Him. So that's why it's called Psukei de Zimra. What does it mean, Psukei de Zimra? Verses of, what's the Zimra? Praise. Singing. Lezamer is to sing. There's a difference between Zemer and Shir. Lashir is to sing, Lazamer is to sing with the whole tune. That's why it needs to say nice, it needs to say out loud. Make sure you know the word. By the way, you cannot, even if you go to America does not have talent, you still have to know your words by heart. There's no reason why you don't know or not to know the Psukei de Zimra by heart. There's no reason. How many Psukei de Zimra are there? Let's say from Baruch She'amar to Az Yashir Moshe. Let's count, okay? So let's say we have Baruch She'amar. Halili Nafshi. No? Mizmor Lesoda. Yeah, Mizmor. Right? No. What's it go about? Give me the order, no guys. Ashrei, how does it go? Baruch She'amar. Mizmor Letoda. Yehi Chavod. Ashrei. Halili what? Nafshi, what after that? Kitov. What? Shir Chadash?
Oh, Shir Chadash is the fourth.
What? Ma? You sure the order? God, you don't know the order. Okay, what else? No? Tzilzalei Torah, Tzilzalei Shama, right? Amen ve'amen. Az Yashir and Ishtabach. So how much? Az Yashir.
No, before.
No, that's I said that's one thing. Yeah. So it's like 9. Do you know 9 songs by heart? You don't know any songs by heart? Okay, I'm sure you know 6 songs by heart. Why come you don't know those things by heart? I mean, guys, you don't even know the order. Not Elena. I'm not talking about Elena. No, you're missing the point. We're missing the point. The point is like this. When you are busy reading it, you can sing it. When you know it by heart, you can tune it. No, the Ashkenazi style is, right now we have majority here, People of color here, we have majority. So, it has to, if you read it, you can tune it. You can make the tune, because you're busy reading it. So you need to know it by heart. What's the big deal to know it by heart? What's the big deal? I mean, what's the big deal to know Birkat Hamazon by heart? What's the big deal? It's no big deal. So you need to arrange it. You need to know it. How can you do... It's funny, you guys want to do kavanot and get the gilgulim b'sheleg. You don't even know it by heart. Do you know, for example, in Ashrei, the Shemot of Hashem, the letters of the Shem, the Yud Ke Vav Ke, that are there. If you look at the Sidurim, Ashkenazi Sidurim and they're all identical. In the Sephardi Sidurim, they have different nekudot, different vowels for every Shem of Hashem. Sometimes it's all b'shuruk, sometimes it's b'patach, sometimes it's this. Each one, why is that? Because each one belongs to a different sfera, a different attribute. Some is chesed, some is gvura, some is this. Now, you want to bring your tefillah to a higher level? A mistake between a kamatz and a patach can make... that's why, you have to say everything in place. The words, in this case, because of the punctuation of the words take more than just a meaning as a word by itself, as the word. Every letter with its nikud, with its punctuation, would refer to a different sfera, and so on and so forth. That's why we say tefillah shamayim va'aretz, heaven and earth. You take it as like a burden. So bimele, you daven because you have to. How can you daven? The Gemara says you never should daven as the tefillah is your masoy, like a burden on you. Pray because you are alive and you have another chance to pray. Not because you have to. You're not doing favors to anyone. And that your tefillah is not going to be a tefillah bechefetz lev because you want to, and that's why you're going to ask for something you're never going to be granted with it because your attitude stinks. I'm sorry. Pray from the bottom of your heart. And if you don't know what it means to pray from the bottom of your heart, chas v'shalom, wait until something bad happens to you. You'll find this depth inside of you to pray. So why does he have to come down to this? Pray from the bottom of your heart every day. I mean, do you know who you're praying to? It's a privilege. And after you do that, you have to arrange yourself like an Eved, like a slave. After you did Tfilat Amidah, after you finished Shmona Esrei, he is like a slave who arranges the Tfilah for his masters. Ve'achar kach Eved, and then he's an Eved. Achei shitpalel kol tefilato, after you finish your whole Tfilah, ve'alach lo, and you went. Ve'al ken David asa atzmo shalosh pa'im betfilah zo Eved. He made during this Tfilah 3 times like a slave. Because it says, Hoshea avdecha ata Elokai. Save, give salvation to your slave. You are my God. David HaMelech said that. Samach nefesh avdecha, right? Rejoice the spirit of your slave. And it says, Teneh oz leuzecha leavdecha. Give the mightiness of that you have to your slave. So it says in Tfilah, he begged it. So he made himself like a slave. 3 times that you need to make yourself like a slave. That is, before the tefillah, before prayer, after Shmona Esrei, after you finish the tefillah, and at the end of the whole tefillah itself. And after that, you need to put yourself in those shemasru nafsham al kiddush Hashem. And that is b'yichud shel Shema Yisrael. When you do the kavanah of Shema Yisrael, you should reach a level which is a very scary place to be. When you are willing to give your soul to God. If He wants to take you now, you said, take. It's a very scary place to be, because it's like all of a sudden you'll be suspended at the Burj Al whatever it is, Al Khalifa in Abu Dhabi, at the top of the antenna looking down with nobody holding you. It's a very scary place to be, I'll tell you that. It's like in the deep hole, and you know what, at the top of the Burj Khalifa at night, or on the top of a big canyon. It is a very scary feeling to be, or to have. One needs to be very careful with those things. But this is what you should strive for. You should strive to be able to give your neshama over, your soul over. And it says, "Kol mishim masim retzono kach b'mikra hazeh." Whoever does this in this pasuk, nechshav, it is count ke'ilu masar nafsho, as is you give your soul, as is you gave your soul. On kiddush Hashem. וצריך לשים עצמו עני, and you need to make yourself into like a slave person. כי מי שנכנס, like a person who goes and knocks on the doors of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, asking for mercy. כשאומר, and when you do that, כשאומר, and when is this? When you say emet ve'yatziv, and there is a special kavanah in the emet ve'yatziv ve'nachon ve'kayam ve'meushar. As you're going to find in Shulchan Aruch, it says there also, very interesting how the Shulchan Aruch, when it comes to that, which is a halachic book, brings you straightforward Kabbalah with Yehudim, and it's like names of Hashem. But guys, that's why you got to learn the Shulchan Aruch too. You have to learn the Shulchan Aruch. Don't tell me you're too busy. You have to learn halachot every single day, just like we do here. Every single day. And it says, and after that, v'somech geula letfilah, and you need to make the geula Gaal Israel and Shmona Esrei as one section, not to separate us. And when you come to this, you need to daven shavur lev, with a broken heart, ani, ve'evyon, poor. Have this feeling, וישים רצונו להתפלל, and to put your will to pray among האביונים בשבירות הלב ובשפילות הנפש. You have to humble your soul. You can't. That's why the halacha says you can't pray with your hands on your hips. Put your hands on your hips and then your knees inside, right? You can't do that. You can't pray like this. You're not or pray like this. People. You can't pray like this, or pray through stroking your beard while you pray. Listen, Have some situational awareness for what you do with your hands, where you put your hands. You can't do this. You're not going to come to speak to a president, the president of the United States, a human being, just like you. Let me tell you something. I think it's not going to happen. It's disrespectful. You have to pray from the bottom of your heart. People want to go to Japan to experience Zen Buddhism, to be able to let go. You have it here every day. At least to let go of yourself. Come to think about really who you are. What have you accomplished in your life? What do you achieve in your life? Even the person that achieved so much in his life achieved nothing in his life. Now you coming to pray to God on what behalf? On what you have done? You haven't done a thing. On what you accomplished? You haven't accomplished a thing. Most of our life is a story of unaccomplished tasks. So in what merit do you come to? What do you have to show for yourself? If you will go to a job, let's say for example you go to a job interview, and they're going to start drilling you. Or even if you go to a job and they ask you ask for a raise. Listen, I need a raise. You need a raise? What for? What have you done? Did you do anything special? And they're going to make you feel like this little. That little is how you have to bring yourself to pray. I'll tell you what, if you make yourself like this so little, for those of you who believe in Ayin Hara, it's the best thing. Why? There's nothing for the Yetzer Hara, the bad urges, the evil side, the evil eye, all those things. They have nothing to gain by trembling you down and making you lost. You're insignificant, so they let you go. Meanwhile, you're safe. You're a big shot. Okay, that's the guy we want. That's the guy we want. The big shot. The guy who thinks he's a big guy. You're a little guy and nobody deals with you. That's the guy who survives. That you should be sometimes we say on the Parah Adumah, that a person should be sometimes like what? Like Etz Erez, like a cedar tree. Sometimes like Ezov. Sometimes like hyssop or oregano. And sometimes you should have a quality of a Tolat Shani. That's like a little worm. You should have those qualities inside of you. You have to know how to apply it. Sometimes you have to be like a cedar tree. Big, strong, mighty, good fragrance. Sometimes you need to know to be like weeds. You just come down and you rise up again. And sometimes you need to be like a Tolat Shani, that special worm who's so small and so insignificant, but yet with his mouth it broke rocks. You have to have this quality. You have to know how to apply it. And all right, let's stop here today because it's really long, and because we're going to talk tomorrow about the continuation of how we're going to pray and how to hand yourself over. And basically by doing so, you learn how to appropriately pray. Unfortunately, there is many courses and many classes and many things about doing many things. Shechting animals, koshering this, Brit Milah, writing mezuzot, being a rabbi, being a chatul, I don't know, whatever you want to be, right? But something so fundamental that we do, nobody will ever teach you how to, and that's prayer. Then you wonder, why do our prayers not being answered? It's because we don't know how. So there is enough material for what we spoke today. That's why I don't want to go in length, too much of a length. Because tafasta merubeh lo tafasta. You try to grab the whole thing, you end up with nothing. How do we call it? The cookie jar syndrome. You put your hand inside the cookie jar, you grab the whole entire thing. A handful, try to pull it out, it won't go. You can have the whole cookie jar, one cookie at a time. So let's try to work on what we did today. Let's try to pay attention to our tefillah. How do we come to the tefillah? Try to pay, when you pray, without any concern if this one is playing slow or this one is praying fast. If his cell phone go on, now you pray like your life is dependent on it. And hopefully, b'schut zeh, they will pray appropriately. And we pray from the bottom of our heart, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will hear our tefillot, will hear our bakashot, and will give us salvation. Amen. As soon as possible.
Amen. Amen.